It's time for clay. We're going to make a chameleon. This little guy is going to be three-dimensional, and I hope it has a lot of personality. First, you're going to get some tools for your desk. You'll have a tray, a little bit of water, a pencil, and a couple of clay tools, and a slab of clay. All of this little guy comes out of this one slab of clay, and I'm going to show you how to do this. First, you're going to take your clay and you are going to cut it just right in half and break it apart. Put half in your tray and you're going to work on half of it. We're going to mold this into a triangular kind of wedge by gently pounding it on that napkin that I've given you, on that cloth. And I'm just tapping it on there. You're going to make a triangular shaped body. You want to blend it as you go. If you notice some cracks or some splitting, blend it together and have kind of a wedge, triangular shape. Now we're going to pinch and pull the tail. You can add a tiny bit of water if you find that it's beginning to dry out, but be very careful not to use too much water. You do not want to get it too gooey or make the tail too thin. And you're going to curl it up onto its back. And again, if you see some cracked areas, a tiny bit of water will do that trick of just blending it out. Once you get that body made, you're going to sit that down and we're going to make the legs. Don't play with it too much because your hands are actually drying out the clay as we work with it. So put it off to the side on that cloth. Now we need to make 4 legs. Take remaining clay, tear it apart. Then you'll want 4 legs to be the same size. So tear the pieces of clay and then roll each into like a little ball and then shape it into these little peg-like shapes. Make them one at a time, trying to make them about the same size. So just roll it first and then just kind of squish it a little bit with your fingers and have them all about the same size. Then I tap them just gently and that makes them flat on the end that he'll be standing on. You can try it out before you really attach it to make sure it's kind of level. Okay, but we got to join it together. We don't want it to fall apart. Right here, this is called scoring the clay. Do you see how I am using the pencil and I'm scratching one way and then the other? This is super important. You must score. Anything you stick together has to be scored, has to be roughed up, or it will fall off. So once you have scored the pieces, then you're going to attach them. Again, take a tiny bit of water on your finger, just a little bit. Please, just a little bit of water. Kind of wiggle it on, attach it, and then you're going to blend it with one of the clay tools or your finger and blend it all the way around so that you really can't tell that you've attached it. Okay? Do that to each of the legs. Do not put too much water on this. You do not want to make it soggy and make it not able to stand up. And then you want to blend, 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 making sure those legs are going to stay on. Now, if you want to cut the toes of the chameleon, you know how they have cool looking feet, you can do that. And then you're going to add a texture to the clay. I sped it up because this was kind of a long video and I'll show you how to do that in class. The head of the clay chameleon is another little kind of a triangular shape, and you're going to just roll it into a ball and then pinch it with your fingers, making kind of eye sockets, and try it on just to see if the size is right before you attach it like I showed you with the other part. You want to make sure you score it so that you can add it on and it won't fall off. Now they have really cool eyes, so you take a little bit more clay and make 2 balls about the same size. So just roll them, and then again, see how I'm scoring it? Teeny bit of water, twist it on, blend this with the edge of the tool, just kind of blend it so it will make sure it stays on. And then, we'll have the little eyeball. You just take your pencil and stick it right in there. That has a cool little eye. Do the same thing to the other side. Blend it by scoring it, tad of water, push it on, and then blend it with a tool. And then don't forget to put the other eyeball on by sticking that clay pencil right in the middle of the circle. There you go. Now, we want to make his mouth. So stick the clay tool in his mouth and wiggle it around just a little bit, back and forth, and it'll open right up. And you don't want to have any sharp edges, so you can take just a teeny bit of water and make sure it's all smooth. And try it on again. Then you're going to make the same texture on the top of his head, but then the side around his eyes, you could try a different texture. Maybe using the tip of the pencil to kind of put little holes in it by just kind of dotting it. And once you have it sculpted like this, then you'll be ready to attach it by blending the back of the head and the spot you're going to add it to the body. It's so much easier though to do this head part all the way before attaching it. I'm doing his lips around the mouth. Once you have added the head on, you want to blend it all the way around, and you might mess up a little bit of the texture, so you'll have to go back and add that texture back in around the neckline that you have blended. But this will help keep his head on, so make sure you do this correctly. We don't want any headless chameleons running around here. So take time to do it correctly. Then on the bottom of his feet, you're going to turn him upside down. And with that clay pencil, put your initials or your name if you can fit it, and your teacher code, like a 5 on one foot and a J or a G or a V or whatever your initial is for your teacher, so that all these little chameleons don't get lost in the kiln. I hope you've had fun. I think they're pretty cute.